There's something your cat does every single day. Something you see, brush off, and move on from. And you're reading it completely wrong. It's not attitude. It's not indifference. It's the deepest language they have, and they only use it with you. In this video, you're going to discover 14 things your cat only does with people they truly trust. And by the time you're done watching, you're going to look at your cat differently. Because some of these things, they probably did them to you today. If you have a cat and you want to actually understand them, hit that notification bell right now. That's what this channel is here for. Every week, a brand new video just like this one. Let's start with something almost every cat owner has seen, but almost nobody understands. You're sitting on the couch, scrolling your phone, or watching something. And out of nowhere, your cat stops right next to you and blinks. Slowly. Really slowly. Like they're falling asleep with their eyes open. You probably think they're tired. That it's just a coincidence. That it doesn't mean anything. But that slow blink is one of the highest forms of affection a cat can express. In the feline world, closing your eyes around someone is a massive act of vulnerability. It's the equivalent of saying, "I trust you enough to let my guard down." And here's the detail that changes everything once you know it. If you blink back, slowly, they'll respond. Try it today. You'll see. But that's not even the strangest part. Because while the slow blink is intentional, there's another behavior that happens without your cat even realizing it. And this one is even more telling. When your cat sleeps belly up, paws in the air, completely exposed, you probably think they're just comfortable. And they are. But there's another layer to it. The belly is a cat's most vulnerable spot. In their most primal instincts, exposing the belly means immediate danger. Any animal that does this in the wild is risking their life. When your cat does this in front of you, they're telling you with their body that you are a safe place. That around you, they can stop being a predator for a moment. But here's where it gets interesting, because this actually explains something that seems contradictory. Have you ever tried to pet their belly when they were in that position and gotten a swat? That's not betrayal. That's reflex. The protective instinct fires before the affection can respond. The message of trust is in showing you the belly, not necessarily in letting you touch it. Those are two separate things. And that connects to something else. Does your cat follow you around the house? Tag along when you head to the bathroom, the bedroom, the kitchen? Most people think it's neediness. That they want food. That they're bored. But it's not quite that simple. Cats are naturally solitary animals. They don't need company to survive. When a cat chooses to follow you, it's a real choice. They're not following you because they have to. They're following you because they want to. Because in their mind, you're part of their group. And in a cat's world, the group is everything. But here's the detail almost nobody notices. They don't just follow you blindly. Pay attention next time. They keep a certain distance. They enter the room, stop, look. Like they're checking to make sure you're okay. That's affectionate surveillance. They're looking out for you without you even noticing. And what's interesting is that same surveillance behavior shows up in another moment too. When you're sick or going through something hard. If you live with a cat, this has already happened to you. You felt awful, laid down in bed, and they showed up. Stayed by your side without doing anything. Just stayed there. Cats can detect changes in your body. Temperature, breathing, smell, posture. They sense that something shifted. And when they trust you, they stay. Not out of instinct. Out of choice. Drop your cat's name in the comments. I want to know who's watching this with me. Now, I need to tell you about a behavior that's going to catch you off guard a little. But it has to be said. When your cat brings you something, a dead bug, a toy, sometimes something you can't even figure out where it came from, your first reaction is disgust or confusion. You toss it, make a face, try to ignore it. But that's a gift. Genuinely. In the most literal sense a cat can give one. In the wild, Adult cats bring food to their kittens and to members of their group who they believe can't hunt for themselves. When your cat brings you something, they're feeding you. They're taking care of you. They think you need help surviving. And that is the biggest compliment they can give you. You matter so much to them that they want to make sure you don't go hungry. What estidates deficieness de jukir if you don't send a wad of tape and use late to spring trip. What's even more interesting is that this changes completely with people they don't trust. Visitors, strangers, people they don't know well. They bring nothing. Ever. That generosity only exists within the group. And you're in their group. And that connects to something else. Have you noticed that your cat has a specific way of greeting you? When you get home, they might do something that looks simple, but it isn't. They press their head against you. Rub their cheek along your leg. Push their head up under your hand. You probably think it's just affection. It is. But it's more than that. Cats have scent glands on their cheeks, forehead, and under their chin. When they rub those spots on you, they're marking you with their scent. Not in an aggressive, territorial way. In an affectionate one. They're saying, this person carries my scent. This person is part of my group. This person is safe. Think about your cat right now. Have they done this to you recently? But hold on, because this actually explains something a lot of people read completely wrong. When a new cat enters a home and completely ignores the person who desperately wants to bond with them and goes straight to the person who couldn't care less about cats. It feels unfair. But it makes total sense. The person who wants it too much approaches directly, makes strong eye contact, leans forward. In the feline world, that's a threat. Direct eye contact, a forward-facing posture, fast approach, all signals of confrontation. The person who doesn't care sits still, looks away, lets the cat come to them. That's a safe invitation. Trust, for a cat, starts with respecting their space. And that's more fascinating than it sounds. Because the cats who trust people most deeply are exactly the ones who were never rushed. Never forced. Never pressured. Just allowed to come on their own terms. But that raises another question. What happens when they already trust you completely? When they've gone through all of those stages? There's one behavior that is the clearest signal of total trust. And it shows up when you least expect it. Has your cat ever turned their back to you and just stayed there? Not looking at you. Not watching you. Just facing the other direction while you're right there. Your first instinct is that it's rejection. Like they're ignoring you. But a cat who turns their back on you is a cat who doesn't need to monitor you. Who knows you're not a threat. Who feels so safe they can be completely vulnerable. It's the opposite of ignoring you. It's blind trust. And here's a detail that'll change how you see this forever. If their tail is up while they're giving you their back, or while they're walking toward you, that's active communication. A raised tail is a greeting. It's openness. It's the feline equivalent of a smile. You've probably seen this today without realizing it. And that connects to something else cats do with people they trust, something that seems completely random. When they sit there staring at you for a long time. You're on the couch, they're across the room, just looking. You think, what does this cat want? Are they hungry? Is something wrong? Most of the time, nothing's wrong. They're just watching you. Cats don't waste time staring at things that don't matter to them. Their attention is selective. What they choose to observe says everything about what they value. When they're staring at you, you're the most important thing in their environment at that moment. Not your phone. Not the window. You. What's interesting is that it happens more when you're distracted. When you're not paying attention to them. Like they enjoy watching you when they think you're not watching back. And there's another behavior they only do when they think you're not looking. Has your cat ever pressed their little head against you while you were sleeping? Slept cuddled up to you at night when during the day they barely let you get close. Cats calibrate how much they let their guard down based on how safe they feel. During the day, with movement and stimulation, that protective instinct runs higher. At night, in the quiet, with you still, they relax. And in full relaxation, they return to what they actually feel. Your cat isn't cold. They're careful. And when they finally drop their guard, what comes out is pure affection. And that changes everything when you discover what comes next. Because there's a behavior that seems absolutely nonsensical. Something you've probably tried to figure out and just gave up on. When your cat needs you, their little paws moving against a surface, your lap, your arm, the blanket beside you. Like they're making bread dough. It seems random. Like a nervous habit. It's not. This behavior starts when they're kittens. Kittens need their mother's belly to stimulate milk production. It's a gesture tied to the moment of greatest safety and comfort they've ever felt. When an adult cat does this to you, they're feeling something close to what they felt with their mom. Safety. Warmth. Belonging. You've become home for them. In the deepest sense of that word. If you've made it this far, you probably have a cat who confuses you every single day. Maybe you never realized how much meaning was packed into these behaviors. And now we're getting to the last ones, and the most subtle. The ones that require more trust than anything else on this list. When your cat makes little sounds while looking at you. Not a regular meow. That short, high-pitched sound, almost like a bird chirp. A trill. That sound is rare. Cats use the meow almost exclusively to communicate with humans. With other adult cats, they almost never meow. The trill is different. It's a sound mothers use with their kittens to get their attention. To say, "Come here, pay attention, I'm right here." When your cat does that to you, they're calling you the way a mother would call a kitten. In their mind, you've switched roles. They're the one taking care of you. But here's the part that'll really get you. A lot of cats stop vocalizing over time when people don't respond. They try to communicate. They try to call out. And when there's no response, they go quiet. If your cat still makes those sounds with you, it's because at some point you responded. Even without realizing it. And they never forgot. And that connects to the last one on the list. Maybe the most important one. When your cat seeks you out in your quietest moments. Not when you're happy or energetic. When you're still, deep in thought, somewhere far away in your head. They feel the difference in your energy. And they show up. They don't necessarily do anything. Don't always purr. Sometimes they just stay. Close. Cats don't try to fix what you're feeling. They just stay present. And for them, presence is the greatest form of love there is. Every single one of these 14 things has something in common. They all require your cat to have chosen you. Not training. Not conditioning. Choice. You became their safe place. Their group. Their home. Maybe your cat isn't hard to understand. Maybe you just never had the right words for it. Now you do. If this video made you see your cat differently, hit that like button. That tells me to keep making content like this. And drop a comment at what's something your cat does that you've always found weird. I want to know. Because that just might be the next video. If you want to keep understanding what your cat is trying to tell you, subscribe right here. New video every single week. And next week we're going to talk about something your cat does when they're anxious, something most owners mistake for aggression. But it's not. And understanding the difference can completely change how you respond to them. See you then.